The Healing Path. I'm Laura Donnelly, founder of the Healing Path Conversation Series and Dancing with Ease Body Brain Balance. People hire me to teach them to move out of pain and into healing. These conversations are with friends and colleagues, some local and some across the world. They offer many different perspectives on healing. And the thing that they have in common is the concept that healing begins inside ourselves and it expands outward from that internal place. Today's guest is Sabrina Scheerer, and I'll bring her on the screen and she can tell you a little bit about her history, and we'll talk about WellCon 2024. I'm really excited. Hi.
Hi.
So nice to see you, and I'm so glad you had time to come on and talk today about your vision for creating a wellness community here where we live in Manhattan, Kansas.
Yes, thank you for having me.
So I read your bio, and a little bit you had experienced a nice community like this in another place that you lived.
Correct.
And go ahead and let me know what made you want to do it here.
Sure. And it was a little different. When I lived in Savannah, I kind of fell into the world of natural and alternative health and wellness and healing there. That is where I had 2 of my 5 children. So really found that community through the birth center that I used there, and the midwives, then they introduced me to other options within the community to find, again, just kind of the organic options, the alternative health modalities, that sort of thing. And we actually ended up growing a large group of mamas, of other crunchy moms that were looking for the same types of things. So we were a resource to each other, whether we had the answers in something that we each offered, or whether we knew and could connect people with the resources they needed. So a little bit different with my vision here. Is it to copy that? I wanted to think of what this community could use, right? All of us are different people and all our communities are different. So it took me a couple years to kind of mull over and brainstorm what would make sense in our community, but have the same feel and provide people the same resources as what I experienced before. One thing, I work with lots of people moving in. We were a military family. That's what brought us to the area, and that's why I've lived in other places. I hear a lot of, well, there's not any resources for alternative health. There's not any, they don't offer that here. I can't find that here. It's too hard to find organic food. It's too hard to find farm to table, that sort of thing. And then also the health practitioners people struggled with. And having lived here for a few years, I thought, it's here. I know it's here, but yeah, it's hard to find. There's not a central resource or a central location. And even the networks within the community of people who are offering that type of service aren't super strong, I've found. And so I wanted to think of, how can I bring that together and give people in our community an easy way to find what they need in one place, and then continue to build those connections in that community from there, so that we all are helping each other out. We know where to send our people for different types of answers and resources that we may not have.
I know exactly what you mean. I moved here in 2012 from Chandler, Phoenix area, and there was a lot, and Manhattan is a small community in which people have overlapping relationships, and they don't really want to. I mean, even like finding a mechanic, they don't want to recommend somebody and not somebody else.
Sure.
And it's even a hair cutter, somebody to cut your hair. style your hair. And it's like, but how am I supposed to find people? Like I don't want 5 bad haircuts before I find the people who are really good at cutting curly hair, because that's
Right.
a different thing.
Mhm.
So I think that this is a really great thing. And another thing about it, I realized while you were talking, is that most of the alternative, for want of a better word, health practitioners are small, and
Correct.
they're doing their work,
Mhm.
and they are trying to market their work as best they can. At the same time, they don't have a lot of time to go to a networking event, to show up at say a street fair where you can go and hand out flyers and things like that. So a part of it is the same problem that happens for all small business people.
Mhm.
And now suddenly my brain remembered something. Is when I lived in Tucson, some of the realtors gave baskets
Mhm.
to people who moved into the area, because there were a lot of snowbirds that lived in Tucson who came from bigger cities and wanted to get right away plugged in.
Right.
And so I worked for the University Performing Arts Center for the dance program, and sometimes we put in free tickets
Yeah.
into the welcome basket,
Mhm.
so people would know that we were there and that there was a concert resource easily available to them. So, uh, and you probably see most of the new people, the people who work in real estate find most of the new people. And once they get plugged in, their kids in school and stuff like that, and they're working, then they don't have that much time to
Correct.
meet other people and to interact. So tell me what this WellCon 24 is going to be like.
Sure. So my idea, my vision was to really just bring together this community. It's hard to define. I mean, I said WellCon. We thought that was fun. We are kind of nerdy people, so we like the whole convention. Comic Con, Dragon Con, like that kind of thing. And we're going for that feel, right? That's just who we are. My husband is very much an integral part of this, so you'll meet him on Saturday. Actually, you'll meet my whole family. Will be there Saturday, so I'm putting the kids to work and everything. But my pet name for it is the Crunchy Mama Fair. My daughter, my 18-year-old, she said, "Who's your target audience?" And I was like, "Crunchy mamas." Like, I don't know how else to describe my target audience, right? And of course, it's not limited to moms or women, but when you're kind of narrowing that I don't know a better way to explain it. But my vision was to bring all these people under one roof on one day. Again, knowing we're all very busy, like wanting to leverage the time to the fullest extent. And I want it to be twofold. I want our vendors to invite their clients, customers, their circle, to come and see the other resources in the community. I also and to get all these people who are looking for these resources in one room. Here's everything, maybe not everything you need, but here is a large amount of information and people and practitioners and options out there, that you could use that may be of benefit to you or may be able to point you in the right direction. I also wanted to get our vendors together, and I want you guys to all create relationships with each other. I want you to know a massage therapist that you can refer people to if that's what they need. And I want my massage therapist to know who she can send people to heal through movement. I want you guys to all connect and be able to help each other out, and just be able to give everybody a well-rounded experience and to support each other, because being a small business owner, which I mean I think all are. I don't have any I don't have any huge businesses, coming. This is all small business owners. It's hard and it can be lonely. And so I really do want a community to grow from this. So my vision was kind of twofold: to help the residents find these things, but also to help the vendors connect and build relationships.
I think it's great. I mean, I usually experiment when I move anywhere. I start looking for things and searching out people. And And even so, small practitioners can only handle so many people. So if I only know one person that I can recommend somebody to for chiropractic or massage, this doesn't give me a really good way to help the people I'm helping.
Right.
Also, what if somebody is more athletic and they need sports massage? That's slightly different than, a relaxation massage that's suitable for an older person, which a massage therapist can do both. But um, some people specialize in
Mhm.
their field, and so I'm looking forward to being there and meeting a lot of the other people. Some of the people, when I look at the roster, I'm like, oh, I know this person and I know that person, and but there's other people I didn't know that was happening here, and then I feel like, how did you not know that, Laura? You
I
know,
when I started working on this project, I made myself a list. I mean, that's what you like. Who am I going to bring into this room? Who am I going to bring into this event? And you had to start somewhere. So I made myself a list of everybody I could think of, and then everybody Google could tell me about. Started with who I knew off the top of my head, and then Googled acupuncturist, different things that would fit into this umbrella, and I had this long list, probably 50 businesses or so to start from. And we went and we visited several of them. I mean, as much as we could. Not everybody has a brick and mortar, but we tried to pop in and put a face to face because it's a brand new thing. Nobody they maybe not have heard of me. They haven't heard. WellCon's a new thing. It's not happened before. I wanted it to be real. I didn't want it to be just an email, that they got. And I did do some email marketing because there were, again, people that I couldn't pop in. They didn't have brick or mortar. I would say that probably a third so we have 19 vendors registered. We'll have 19 vendors there. And I think only maybe a third of them were from that original list. Everybody else, including yourself, were like, hey, I want to be part of this. And I didn't know this was a thing here. And I think that's really, really cool that I knew the resources existed and I had a starting place for them. But so many more have appeared that, I mean, just really neat things that I didn't know were here. And I'm very, very excited to learn about the businesses, to meet the people. I mean, it's just really exciting. Also, I'm going to be broke after this event because you guys all have so many cool things. And I'm like, well, okay, need all of that. So,
well, and that's another thing about this that is really interesting. And one of the things I really liked about it is it's like an in-person event that has the same uh, purpose as the healing path conversations.
mhm,
In that you're not promoting one type of body work or wellness practice or anything. You're creating a place where people can go and learn more and pick the one or two modalities that they want to start with for their body. And I think, well, it's like a buffet. It's like a wellness buffet.
right.
But it's exactly the kind of way I like to meet people. If you go somewhere and there's a lot of but if you can walk around and talk to people at their table and listen to them answer questions that other people ask and actually get um, well, okay, this is the next thing, a feel for that person. There's
Mhm.
tons of good practitioners that but maybe one person is in the wrong area of town. For me, it takes me 35, 45 minutes to get there, whereas if I could get to somebody else in 15 minutes, that means after my treatment I can get home and relax
Mhm.
faster without dealing with so much traffic.
Right.
That's a choice thing. Some of it's energy. you
Mhm.
know some people need a happy, upbeat, bright person, and other people need the calming atmosphere, and so this gives everybody a chance to, like you said, put a face to the practice,
Mhm.
to ask questions about the details about the practice. What really is acupuncture?
Right.
Is acupressure different than acupuncture? How is it, and maybe even there are people who will come who want to learn how to do a certain particular practice that they they never thought that it was a business opportunity, and
Sure.
they can meet somebody who might become a mentor for them.
Absolutely. I hope so. That would be fabulous because there definitely aren't enough of, enough. So I think
Right.
that would be fabulous. And yeah, along the lines of what you're saying, it's the personality has to match, the modality has to match. You mentioned, healing comes from within. Your brain is a huge part of that. If you're if if that modality is not meshing with you, if it's not making sense to you, it doesn't feel right to you, it's not going to work. So I mean, it can absolutely work on its own, but if you have a block, it's not gonna help you to its fullest potential. So um, it is important for people, and I think that fear can be a hindrance for us. Ignorance, just not knowing something exists, not knowing that that service is available here is a hindrance. And then also the fear of like, I don't know. I mean, acupuncture, like I'm terrified of needles. Like that seems kind of weird. But if I can get in front of somebody who does that and they, with no pressure, not necessarily an appointment, not something I'm having to make a commitment to, but just to talk and say, what does this really entail? What's it really like? That could get me a lot more comfortable with that particular option.
Right. I agree. And I thought of another thing. Okay, so are you thinking to make this an annual event?
3 times a year is our goal. Uh,
Wow. That's really great.
yeah, I didn't do 4 because I think I mentioned I have 5 kids. Summers are insane. Absolutely cannot handle anything like this during the summer. So our goal, so we tossed around and I said, well, twice a year, I kind of want something more often than twice a year. I want the opportunity to go into this space and talk to these people more than twice a year as a group, right? And again, to fill that community, I felt like twice a year might not quite get us that connection that I was hoping we'd all develop. So we landed on 3 times a year. That's our goal. January, April, May timeframe, and then probably late-ish September, maybe early October timeframe is what I'm looking for. I'm also trying to time those around other big things, right? So I wanted to get in before the Christmas market type of stuff. January was after, the holidays have really kind of passed and everybody's gotten kind of recovered from that period. So I thought through those time frames, and that's what we landed on. On the 20th, on Saturday, I will have our I hope I will have our location and date for our next one already nailed down. Registration won't open immediately, but I will have save the date cards so at least everybody can get it in their calendar. Um, we aren't going to be able to use the same facility that one as we are using this one. I do hope that will be our regular facility because it really is ideal. It has everything we need. And we can grow and there's still room to grow there, but it wasn't available in April or May. So that's the challenge I'm working right now, is where that next facility could be, at least for that one event, and then we'll probably go back to Potterworth for future events. But once I nail that down, we'll have a date and a location for the next one.
No, it's really great too, because now I'm thinking, it's very easy to get in, since this is a college town, it's really easy to get into the mindset of the college routine. And, but people move in all the time. They're moving in all the time. And so to have this several times a year is a real wonderful welcome to the community, even.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and
And
you mentioned like baskets and welcome packets. There's things I want to grow this into. There's directions I'd like to go. I'd love to have something to give to newcomers and say, here's an event that's coming up where you can meet all these people, or here's a list of who are vendors. I mean, anything. Just again, especially the people who ask me, the people who say, where do I get this, or where do I get that, or where do I go to a chiropractor, where do we even have acupuncture here, like what's available, to just be able to have a resource to provide to them. And then to say we have an event coming up, because at 3 times a year there's always one coming up.
right.
Come and check everybody out and come meet people and see what you want to utilize. So
That's good. And so if people want to get in touch with you, they can find you on your Facebook page, and all these links I'll put in the comments of the video. And there's a video so that if you were able to watch live and you have friends you want to see this, you can share it with them. You can share the link and the video will just play. You can also find Sabrina here on her website. And I think your email's there. I think it's really easy to get in touch with you.
Yeah, it's Sabrina@ScheererHomeTeam.com. So,
yep. And if you're available Saturday, 10 to 2, I would say come and check out who's coming to the fair, who's sharing what they do. I expect probably some people will come who weren't ready to have a booth, and but they might come and just meet people and say hello and figure out, oh, this is something that would really work for me in the future, or it might not work time wise.
sure. Yeah.
So I'm just so glad you did this. And like I said, like you said, I was at my chiropractor's and I saw the event and I'm like, I'm calling her. This sounds like a great thing. I would love to be part of it. And you made it so easy. That's the other thing. You made it really, really easy to participate. And I think that that's an important thing. It's, again, because so many wellness practitioners are sole proprietorships, which means that you are doing all of the work. And I'm thinking, there's an entrepreneur group in Manhattan, but there isn't even a subset of wellness practitioners as entrepreneurs. And I think people think of themselves as, they might think of themselves as a movement therapist. They might think of themselves as a chiropractor. These are businesses,
Right.
but they are also an entrepreneur. They are creating their own presence within the community and their own work. But I often think that I didn't ever go to the entrepreneur group. And if I did, I went with my other work, which is helping people be calm around money and getting ready for taxes. So that's the one I went to the entrepreneur group with, because that seemed in my mind to fit better the profile.
Sure.
So I think that this is a great idea for building community within the practitioner group, but also within the wider community. And so I'm really looking forward to meeting you in person, which is great. Also to reconnecting with some of the people that I have worked with prior to the wonderful pandemic, which really diffused everything. And so reconnecting with people that I hadn't seen for a while, and also, it's going to be really excited about too. Oh, meeting new people. I love to meet new people. So is there anything else you want to share with people before we wrap up?
I think the only thing to remind people is that there's a small fee to get in. However, if you bring a food item, we will be dropping those off at the Flint Hills Bread Basket. So bring a food item to donate, and then you will get in for free, and we'll get those over to the Bread Basket. I know they're needed.
That was another thing I really loved about the invitation to the event, is that you again, it's so welcoming in terms of making it accessible to people, even if at the end of the, Christmas is over, but now all the Christmas bills are coming in.
Absolutely. Yeah, I wanted to remove as many barriers as I could. I didn't want anybody to not come because of a fee or because of timing, weather, we don't have control over, some of that, but I just wanted to make it as easy as possible. I really just want people to come and be there. That's the goal.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And thanks for taking time today to share about your vision and how this came about, and to invite people. And we'll see you on Saturday.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for inviting me to do this and helping us get the word out. And I look forward to meeting you as well.
Take care.
Thanks.